Hello everybody and welcome back to Sunshine Islands. And boy has it been a while. It's probably been about a month and a half since I started picking up this game again, and it's just been a little over 2 weeks since I've posted a video for this game to the channel. So it took me a little while just to sort of get my bearings and to, of course, figure out what the heck was going on. But I think we're back on track. It's nice to be back. I've loaded up an old save that I have from the 7th day of summer, which is our chicken festival. And what I'm gonna do, and what I seem to be doing now on a regular basis, is I'm going to combine this festival with our next one that is coming up in a few days in the summer season. So I've already done all of my chores and whatnot. I entered my chicken yesterday. Mirabelle came and picked her up. And this really isn't much of a competition. I mean, let's be honest here. We have a chicken with a full 10 heart meter. Our girl Tifa is still going strong. Our first chicken that we ever had on the ranch, and I'm not sure how long chickens live for off the top of my head, but I do anticipate some of our animals are going to start getting old. But Tifa's doing great. I think that's her second or third win. So let's see what wonderful we get from this. Looks like she's also going to get a new title of Silver Medal Chicken. I assume just for winning a few different competitions. And we get ourselves a Red Wonderful, which I'm pretty happy about. The good luck with Wonderfuls is continuing on, which is fantastic. We're having much better luck this year than we did last year in terms of what we've been getting for Wonderfuls. So I guess I'll just do a little overview of what I've been up to before we jump forward in time. You can see that I've got lots of pumpkins planted here, and they've just sort of started out. Keeping an eye on the water and the sun points, of course. And I've also gone ahead and I've planted some buckwheat here. Still waiting very, very patiently on our wheat, which seemingly is going to take forever. But we shouldn't have any problems getting all of that stuff in before the end of fall. Nothing's changed up in the rice paddy. All of the trees are in tip-top shape, getting lots and lots of fruit, which is always nice. And then in our greenhouse, I have maxed out what I'm going to be growing in here, and these are all pumpkins. So lots and lots and lots of pumpkins. If we can manage to ship enough pumpkins, we'll unlock a new crop as well, which was kind of my goal for this season. I actually haven't made the effort to grow anything else. I figured if I do need something, then I can just grow it in the greenhouse by changing out the different suns in order to make the greenhouse a different season. Obviously, the summer suns are already in there, so after I'm done with pumpkins, if I want to go ahead and grow onions or corn or tomatoes, I can do that. I'm just going to load up my newest save. It's where I've actually made progress in the game, and it also happens to be our next festival coming up. So here we are. I've loaded up a save from the 13th day of summer. And today is our cooking festival. So I figured I would show this off anyways. This is not a festival that I've been having any luck trying to win, unfortunately. I've been doing a lot of testing and saving and reloading and cooking all of these different dishes, and I just can't seem to get the result that I want. But I'll explain a little bit about why I'm having difficulties when we are able to go and see Pierre. Now, it was only 6 days on from our last update, where we were starting on the 7th day of summer, so there's not a whole lot going on here. You can see that the pumpkins have started to mature a little bit. They're on to their next stage of growth. I also decided that I would like to grow some soybeans, so I planted these. It's a little bit risky for me to do that because they need, at the bare minimum, if everything goes exactly as planned, 40 days to be able to grow in, and I've planted them quite late. So I am taking a bit of a risk, and some of this may not be coming in. But I figured I should probably try, and growing it outdoors is going to be my best chance. This stuff would take forever to grow inside of the greenhouse. You can see that the buckwheat is starting to come in. All the animals are good. There's not really much going on there. I've had beautiful sunny weather throughout the season, so they've all been outside munching on grass. You can see that the greenhouse pumpkins are starting to develop as well. And then the orchard still is doing really, really well. I do have to replace some of these fences. I haven't really made the effort to replace the ones that I'm missing, but I should probably do that because I would be kicking myself if I was lazy and something ended up happening and I lost my trees. I've still been feeding the monkeys from time to time, hoping that they're going to bring me some golden lumber. But even if they don't, it's not the end of the world because I can make them in my kitchen if I want to. Alright, so if it's been a while and you don't remember how the cooking festival works, the first time we come here, we are going to talk to Pierre to get the theme for what we need to cook. So this year we need to make him a main dish recipe. And then we need to bring him an entry before 6 p.m. tonight. So this gives you an opportunity to go and then look through what you have in your recipe book and pick something to make. So in my case, I actually have a decent amount of the recipe book filled out. I have 41 out of 57 possible main course dishes, and you would think that that would give me a lot to work with, but unfortunately with a lot of these dishes, they just do not have a ton of stamina recovery. A lot of these dishes actually have about the same amount. A lot of these have 28 stamina recovery, or 30, or even lower than that. The best one that I've found is the egg over rice, which at its base, without adding anything in, gives you 36 stamina recovery. And the way that Pierre judges dishes that come into the festival is on how much stamina that they actually recover. So This is a really simple dish, only 2 ingredients, and I've made one. I have one in my inventory where I've made 4 additional changes to it. So I'm not sure exactly how much stamina it recovers, and even still, it hasn't been enough to win me the festival, which is really, really frustrating. The only other dishes that would sort of help me out here are some of these curries, in particular the blue and the indigo curry, which I do believe have about the same amount as the egg rice, just a little bit more complicated of a dish with more ingredients. But for some reason, and I don't know why this is, I usually end up failing even just to make the basic curry dishes. Not always, but usually. And you wouldn't think it would be that difficult. It's just curry powder, rice, and an herb. You can see there that I made a failed dish. Well, why? My cooking level is pretty decent, and I have made dishes that are a lot harder than this. I have more success making golden lumber than I do making curry. And again, I ask why. I have no idea why. So off screen, when I was trying to come up with different dishes to cook for the festival, I did have some luck making just the basic curries, but the basic curries do not add up to what I already cooked, of course, and trying to add anything to it just didn't seem to be working, and it didn't seem to matter if I was saving and reloading and trying different things, different additives. I guess my cooking level just isn't good enough. But again, it kind of baffles and perplexes me, and I really kind of don't understand why. The other thing that I should mention about some of the recipes that I have in the main course section is that I'm missing a lot of other recipes that would have been good, probably pretty simple, maybe would have been easier to cook than curry, but the problem is I just don't have the stuff that I need in order to unlock the recipes, and that is going to come from some of the crops that we haven't unlocked yet, as well as from fruit from our trees and also from our grains. So for example, tofu is a really good one where there's a few recipes that use tofu that have really good stamina recovery, and I just haven't run across tofu at all yet. So I'm gonna go submit the dish anyways. But before I do that, hold on just a minute. I'm gonna go into my fridge, and I've been putting aside some fruit. I've been saving some fruit, you know, shipping a little bit, saving a little bit. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to ship some fruit in my shipping box today, and when we wake up tomorrow, Taro should be able to award us with the Sunstone for shipping 100 summer fruit. So it is a bit of a bummer because I would say that recipe gathering is probably one of the last things in this game that I'm actually sort of actively working towards, that I'm hype for. I'm obviously really excited to be able to see Sunny Island because I've never seen it before after we get all of our sunstones. But I already know where all of our sunstones are, and it's kind of just a waiting game at this point. Whereas it's kind of exciting to me to try and fill out that recipe book. Just to kind of see all the different things that are gonna show up that we might be able to cook. Denny predictably has some sort of fish dish here. I don't think that boy eats anything else but fish. It would be really funny to me if, as your husband, he only ever gave you fish dishes. This is good. You've really brought out the natural flavors of the ingredients. Oh, okay. Well, at least Pierre had nice things to say about all of our dishes. There were no stinkers there. And Mirabelle beat us with what I can only assume is a heavenly plate of spaghetti. I love spaghetti. And we got second place, which is okay. I actually think that we have gotten second place before. I know that we won last year. The first year you can't really participate. So it's kind of interesting that this seems to be a festival that every time we enter, we either win or we get really, really close to winning. If I look in my assets, it should be able to tell me if I scroll down. Oh no, I was wrong. We got one win once we got second place, which was now, and then we got third place. So, anyways, there you go. Next year, I believe it just kind of follows the order of your recipe book here. So I think next year we would have to come up with a dessert. And again, as you can see, my recipe book is actually coming along quite nicely. I've got all the salads unlocked. I'm missing 11 of the soup/drink menu. I'm missing a lot of appetizers. I think the appetizers is the one section that I haven't really fleshed out really well. The other section as well, I also really need to try and flesh out a little bit better. Missing a couple of the main courses, and I'm only missing 5 desserts. So I hope that I will get close to sort of finishing this off by the time that we're all said and done with the game. I'm just going to quickly jump into bed here, and when I walk out the door in the morning, Taro should have the sunstone for me. What a blast from the past to have him come to my door. It's so weird. We used to see him all the time early on in the game, bringing us sunstones left and right. And we're only gonna see him, I think, one more time, because I think he brings us our fall fruit sunstone, and that will be it. So with that, our total sunstones is up to 27. We are only missing 3 more. So at this point, I'm actually in a rare situation where I am not ahead in videos at all. I am planning basically to edit this and upload it ASAP. So if you're still here listening to me talk, please let me know if you'd like me to include the cat festival. I have been practicing. I have been trying to raise my cat's affection but I will tell you with 100% certainty that it's probably just not gonna happen. I can probably enter and get sort of like a personal best sort of situation going on. Might be able to actually do better than 4th place, but there's absolutely no way that I'm gonna be winning any sort of wonderfuls from this festival. That is only 4 days away, so I also probably wouldn't have a lot to do an update on. So probably what I would do is do the cat festival and the fishing contest in one video. If it's better for me to skip right over it and just kind of focus on the festivals that I can actually win or do well in, we still have the fishing contest as well as the summer crop festival before the end of the season. So I would love to hear everybody's opinions on that. I hope everybody is happy and excited to see this series come back. I have more free time now, so I hope that I can continue and actually get this monster of a game done sooner than later. I want to thank everybody so much for their patience and for their support. I really appreciate it. I hope that I will see everybody next time.